Hello students, today we will start the new chapter, that is data handling. This is the chapter number 5 of standard 8. So by the name data handling, there are two words. First is data and second one is handling. So what is data? First of all, we have to understand this term data. So to understand this term, let us take two examples. First one is the runs made by a batsman in the last 10 test matches. So here what we have taken? We have taken an example of a cricket match, of the cricket matches. And what data we collect here? We collect the data of the runs made by the batsman. In how many matches? 10 test matches. So this is a kind of data that we collect. Okay. Second example. Number of storybooks read by each of your friends. So this will become another kind of data which is totally different from the first type of data. So data are in this way maybe of different types. Here in this case, this data is about the storybooks read by each of your friends. So this data is your personal data, while this data is general data. So in this way, we can also collect many types of data. So the information collected in all such cases is called the data. So whatever we take the information, right, in this way, and if we collect the data, information from that, that is called the data. So now it is clear it is clear about the data, what we can call as a data, right? Also, let us take one more example, that you have a unit test in your school. So your teacher, like your maths teacher, have to check all the papers, then to write down all the marks that obtained by, let us take there is a test of 50 marks. So out of 50 marks, how many marks each student get, that is also become a collection of data. One more example, let us consider the height of the students of class 8. So all the students have different height, so that will also become an collection of data. So now it is clear to you that what we can call as a data. So in previous classes, in standard 7, you have studied about how to represent the data, right? So let us see some of the things, some of the methods that you have already studied in previous standard. So the first method that you have studied is the graphical. Okay, we can also represent the data in the graph form. By drawing the graph, we can represent the data. That is called the graphical representation of the data, right? So there are some methods. The first method is a pictograph, right? So in the pictograph, what we use symbols to represent the data. Like we have taken an example here, that there is a picture of the star, and what does this star represent? The star means 10 cars. Wherever we have a star, that represent the 10 cars, right? So see, in June month, let's suppose in June month, how many cars sold? Suppose this is the data of the car sold by a company. So in June month, 3 stars are there, and 3 star means 30 cars, because one star is equals to 10 car. So 3 star means 30 cars. So in June month, a particular company sold the 30 cars. Second, in July month, how many stars are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this star is a half. Half means we have to make a half of 10. And half of 10 is 5. So let us calculate 10 plus 10, 20. 20 plus 10, 30. 30 plus 10, 40. And 40 plus 5. That is 45. So in July month, that company sold the 45 cars. Okay. So this is the first step that you have already studied. And that is called the pictograph. Okay. Okay, this is the second type. This type is what? A bar graph. Bar graph means we have to draw the bars like this. Okay, let us take an example. This data is about what? The number of the students in the class 8 and the academic years. So this bar graph represents the data about the number of the student in the standard 8 according to the academic years. So there are two axes. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. In this axis, we can also say it the horizontal and vertical axis. So on horizontal axis, we have represent the academic years. That means here the first academic year we have taken is 2003 to 2004. Then 2004 to 2005. Then 2005 to 2006. So here we are comparing the three academic years. And on vertical axis, what we have taken? We have taken the number of students in class 8. So here, first of all, we have taken a slab of 50, then 100, then 150. So this shows the number of students, right? So now let us see. In 2003 to 2004, this bar is up to the 50. That means in 2003 to 2004, there are 50 students in the class 8. Okay, let us see the second bar. Here 2004 to 2005, here we can see that its height is up to 100. That means in 2004 to 2005 academic year there is 100 student in class 8, and in 2005 to 2006 this graph is now up to 150. That means there are 150 students in 2005 to 2006 academic years. In the academic year 2005 to 6, there are 150 students in class 8. So this is what about we represent this data using a picture, a graph. That is why it is called a bar graph. And we use the bar. Bar means this type of rectangles, right? And one important thing about bar graph is all the width of this bar will remain the same. If we have taken this as a 1 centimeter, then all the bars will have the same width. Height will be different according to the data. The height may be different, but the width will be the same. Also, the gap between two bar will also remain the same. We cannot change the gap, or we cannot change the width, right? So this is the second type that we have studied, a bar graph. Now the third type. Third type is what? Double bar graph. Bar graph, but double. So when we use the bar graph, double bar graph, it used to compare the data. Let us take an example. Suppose there are marks obtained by a student in different subjects in two different years, 2005 to 2006, okay, and 2006 to 2007. Suppose one student is in standard 7 in 2005 to 2006, then he or she will be in standard 8 in academic year 2006 to 2007. And four different subjects we have taken: maths, social study, and three subjects: maths, social study, and Hindi. So the blank bar represent the marks obtained in 7th class, 7th standard, that is in the academic year 2005 to 2006. And this type designed bar represent the marks in standard 8. That means in the academic year 2006 to 2007. So here also we have taken the two axes. This is the horizontal axis which represent the subjects, and vertical axis that represent the marks obtained by a student. And here we represent the marks 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. So this bar, double bar graphs, using this double bar graph, now we can compare the marks. Let us see. In mathematics subjects, in 2000 to 2005 to 2006, a student get the 30 marks, while in 2006 to 2007, he or she will get the 50 marks. So see, there is a difference of 20 marks in a year. So in this way we can compare the any quantity using the double bar graph. Second, in social study, in 7th standard or in 2005 to 2006, he or she has a 50 mark, but in next academic year he or she has a 60 marks. 10 marks is upgraded. Also 10 marks is upgrade in social study. In Hindi, see, in Hindi both the bar graphs have the same height and both are of the 60 marks. That means in Hindi he or she has equal marks in standard 7 and 8 or in academic year 2005 to 6 and 2006 to 7. So this is about to compare the two quantity, compare the data. So whenever we have to compare the data, we can use the double bar graph. Okay, so this type of picturized representation is also very useful to represent the data, because it is said that a picture is enough to represent the 1000 words, or a picture according, or we if we want to represent the data or information in 1000 words, instead of that we can draw, we can understand it by a picture. That is why this graph, how many information we can get from this graph? Lot of information. Also from this graph we can find out the lot of information. So this type of bar graphs you have already you have seen in the, like in test cricket matches. In cricket matches also, whenever there is to compare the run scored by any batsman, and this type of bar you have maybe seen in the matches. Okay, so also this type of graphs you have maybe seen in any other in shop, in like in markets. Okay, so this type of bars, this type of graphs are used to represent the data. Okay, so this is all about this lecture. Okay, thank you.